There we go. Whenever you guys ready.
All right,
All right,
thank
excellent. Hello, my name is Rachel, and this is your Captain Ben, and we're aboard a 57 Lagoon called Soterion.
Well, you answered question 1 and 2. We've been on the boat for a couple of weeks. We're new crew together. I was the captain aboard this boat 4 years ago. Have 3 years experience chartering in the BVI and 1 year chartering in Southeast Alaska. Quite a bit of personal yachting experience in the area. We joined this boat because the former crew, Sasha and Tara, were gracious enough as they're retiring to suggest us as their replacements, since we had a fantastic relationship with the owner from our previous experience aboard. We were hired again, so it's a good fit. We're stepping into a familiar situation with a familiar owner and a familiar boat with a great reputation.
Yachting background.
You can take it.
Ben's been aboard boats basically since he was born. Actually, since he was 8 years old. U.S. Coast Guard licensed captain, and has worked here in the BVIs in previous catamarans. He also owns his own boat. She's a 32-foot dreadnought. He sailed her up and down the Pacific, through the Panama Canal and back to New Hampshire, which is where he's from. My culinary background, is that enough? Do you want to add anything?
How about your background?
My yachting background. I was actually originally selling power tools, and I got into sailboats because I had the privilege to call on the Hinkley Yacht Yard in Maine. I was selling them DeWalt, Porter Cable, and Delta power tools. So that's how I got into sailing, and I thought, wow, these are amazing vessels. And I get to sail with this guy. So really started sailing on Flathead Lake, racing on a 27-foot cow. And then we lived aboard and did a delivery in the Caribbean between the Keys and Panama for 6.5 months, kind of doing some island hopping, waiting for weather windows and having a really nice time there. And we have been lucky enough, like Ben mentioned, to be invited back by the owner and recommended by Sasha and Tara, the previous crew aboard Soterion.
Wow, that was thorough. Told you what we did before yachts. My background is in, well, boats in general, some commercial fishing, commercial towing through Southeast Alaska. Worked in a lot of boat yards as a shipwright's apprentice for several years, as well as worked as a ski bum, so the other passion is mountains. So the name of Soterion means safe passage. So it's fitting for a lot of reasons. When you step aboard, your safety, comfort, and fun are our priorities in that order. We can keep you safe and keep you comfortable. We're guaranteed to have fun because we're in paradise.
Soterion has a great reputation in the fleet, and Ben and I strive to make every charter customizable. We're super flexible, and we're here to facilitate a blast for your vacation.
Most memorable charter. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. We'd like to make your charter the most memorable. However, there was one great charter. It was a week of weather that was really not so favorable here, which happens maybe once or twice a year. And we picked up some charter guests in St. Thomas, and we decided to get underway right away. And it was rainy and nasty and windy, and we sailed out towards a little island called Frenchman's Cap. And along the way, as we were holding on and bouncing along, we saw a couple of humpback whales racing about, and it turned out to be a cow and her fairly young calf being chased around by two big bulls, big males. And they let us follow them around for an hour or so. They gave a great display showing breaching, diving under the boat, coming up on the other side. It was really pretty exciting. The sailing itself was exciting enough, and then the addition of those whales was really cool. So that went down in my memory banks, and I'll remember that one forever. Why should you pick Soterion to charter? Um, we really strive to give the best possible service. As Rachel mentioned, Soterion has a great reputation. She's been in the fleet for 13 years. She's not the newest boat in the fleet, obviously, but she's proven to be very good at what she does, which is provide a very comfortable charter platform for our guests. She sails well, so we have that going for us because you're coming on a sailboat. We carry this big mast around with us for a reason. We like to use it. We try to keep the level of service top-notch, but we try to keep an air of relaxation aboard all the time. We don't want any pretentiousness because this is a place where we want you to be able to come let your hair down, feel like you're stepping into your living room, but being served as well as possible. So delicious food, great venue, good boat. Come on aboard, we'll have a good time.
Sweet. Is there a little question about your culinary background?
I forgot. We kind of skipped around a little bit.
Yeah.
So my culinary background, I've always been a foodie, been into food and wine. After being in the corporate world, I was able to go and participate in a culinary program in Montana. Also worked for a large catering company, and I love to entertain, so my cooking style is very healthy and very creative. Not so much simple because I love sauces and I love to get kind of crazy in the kitchen. So I want you to look at your plate and really create what you're ready to eat.
Awesome.